of 2020. In one half of the draw, it's two double world champions, Gary Anderson, the Flying Scotsman, against Adrian Jackpot Lewis over on the other streaming board of Chris Murphy. But here, on streaming board 2 with me, Dan Dawson, it's the hipster's choice. Brendan Dolan, the lowest seed here today, the number 32 seed.
Bullseye.
But a man who, in the last 6 months, has picked up 2 ranking titles. And he takes on Jeff Smith, playing in his very first PDC ranking event since winning his tour card at Q School at the start of this year. The Canadian, World Cup champion in the WDF system, World Cup pairs winner last year for Canada, playing alongside Dave Cameron.
58.
Taking on the history maker Brendan Dolan. It is first to 7, remember, in these semi-finals. There is not much between these two. They're both averaging
96.
Either side of that 95 mark. 96 for Brendan Dolan, just below 95 for Jeff Smith. But you look at the players they've beaten. Dolan has taken out Michael Van Gerwen. And Jeff Smith, I mean, he started the day seeing off Dave Chisnell, then beat Rhys Robinson and Dirk van Dijvenbode, then beat UK Open champion Nathan Aspinall, and followed it up by knocking out the world champion Peter Wright. It is an impressive list of kills for the silencer, and the 177 signals his intent in this one.
$140.
Well, as far as I can tell, these two have never gone head-to-head before. They'll obviously be aware of each other. I mean, they've been around darts for a long, long while. Jeff has been one of the leading players in North America, a leading player in the world, to be honest, for a number of years. Not the first time he's had a PDC Tour card, but hopefully this time is where he can really give it a go, as Brendan now looks downstairs.
137.
Leaves himself 66. The silencer wants 94. He's got options, and he uses the bull route, which leaves him the bull.
69.
One dart missed by the Canadian. Brendan Dolan may only get 1 dart himself. He'll be hoping for 2. .45 scored, leaves 21. That leaves 88.
50.
Wasn't what he was after, but he got the dart at the outer ring he was after.
Game shot.
Jeff Smith shows him where it is. First blood to the Canadian with a 14 dart leg. Incredible display from Jeff Smith to win his tour card on the 3rd day of Q School, as he produces his second 170-plus visit of this one. He took out Seigo Asada, the ninja, the #1 from Japan, in a last leg decider with a ton-plus checkout, with Asada waiting on a very manageable finish himself. One of the standout moments from the 4 days of action at Q School, the brutal 4 days that Smith managed to prevail in. He was very confident 85. At the time, very calm, saying he knows what the PDC Tour's about. He knows that it's tough to live and compete and succeed in this school of darts, but he was confident that he had the game to do so, and he's shown today that he's able to do it. He defied 100 average from Van Dijvenbode. He averaged 101 himself against Aspinall.
140.
And Peter Wright was close to 100 average, but was dispatched 6-5. He's played 52 legs of darts already today, prior to this match.
47.
But 2 misses at double 18 and double 9 give Brendan just a little glimmer of a chance. 2 trebles required. There's 1. Can't find the other.
96.
So, a big fat 1. That'll do.
Game
And
shot.
that's very nicely done by Jeff Smith. Back-to-back 14 darters from the silencer. Over on the other board, they are guaranteed to finish
99.
before this one. There is no way that I can see this game is going to finish before Gary Anderson and Adrian Lewis. It is already 2-1 to the Flying Scotsman in that one.
96. $100.
Or whatever happens in this game and the one on the other streaming board, and indeed in the final,
100.
I think we can safely say that Gary Anderson is perhaps a little further down the comeback trail than some might have anticipated, perhaps even Gary himself. Adrian Lewis,
56.
a man who feels that there is work to do to get back where he belongs at the very top table in world darts. Good signs for him. Brendan Dolan,
83.
showing that his spell in 2019 when he won 2 Pro Tour titles was not just a little purple patch. He's back playing good darts and he's still in that zone. And Jeff Smith showing that he really can, if there were any doubts, mix it with the best. Chisnall, Aspinall, Wright, all seen off today. That is a selection of the best.
40.
Just the 40 for Smith. Would have been a real chance to turn the screw. A second break of throw and a 3-0 lead, even in a race to 7. May have proven decisive. He could still
100.
make it 3-0. Treble 18. Oh my.
132.
Fabulous setup shot though. Jeff Smith is not really putting a foot wrong at the moment. And Brendan Dolan. There's pressure on this and it tells because he's missed the big number. So he only gets 1 dart at the double.
30.
And he needed more than 1, and Jeff Smith can go 3-0 up with 2 breaks of throw. Brendan Dolan, the history maker, in all kinds of bother because Jeff Smith is not missing. 3-0 to the Canadian. 102 average for the silencer. It's 100 averages apiece over on the other board with Gary Anderson 3-2 up on Adrian Lewis. Everything going effectively with throw in that one. In their own race to 7, the winner of each of these games clash for £10,000. In the final today, Brendan Dolan with his first 180, his 9th of the day. Despite playing more than 50 legs of darts, Jeff Smith's only hit 5 180s today.
140.
It was nearly a 6th. He is a guy who likes moving around the board, Jeff Smith. Likes to use the treble 17, treble 19. But a 95 average, not to be sniffed at over the course of the day.
140.
Oh, Brendan, 5 perfect darts. Already seen a couple of 9 darters today. We saw Gary Anderson miss double 12 for another. Oh, here we go.
138.
Well, there we see Jeff Smith, this time moving across to the 18s. And even though Brendan has kicked off 180, 140, he may not even get a dart at double. He may not even get a dart, a visit, where he's got a finish. Because Smith can take this out in 2 darts. He's going to need all 3. Oh, no! Silly, silly play.
70.
Manages to tidy things up. But Brendan Dolan, a 96 checkout. And one that he needs. Great dart. Double 18.
Game shot.
Very, very good stuff from Brendan Dolan. Breaks back with an 11 darter. Fabulous standard here Both averaging well over a ton.
$39.
Well, Dolan, when he moved over to the PDC last year, came through Q School with slightly less bother. Slightly more bother than Jeff Smith had in Wigan. His target was always try and qualify for the match play in your first year. It is a very, very tough thing to do. Not many have managed it. You've got to make a big statement early on. Possibly win a title. Certainly go deep in a few tournaments.
100.
Jeff Smith might start entertaining those sorts of ideas if he can find a way to convert this 3-1 lead into a victory and
56.
reach a final in his very first event. Can't afford to think like that, of course. He's just got to focus on the task in hand. As such an experienced campaigner, I'm sure that's exactly what he's doing. No, Brendan thinks this leg is gone. And he may well be right, because Jeff Smith is giving him absolutely nothing. Oh, wonderful. Double 8.
108.
Well, it is looking very much like it's going to be 4-1, and Jeff Smith more than halfway to closing out the victory and reaching the final. Yes, of course, he's made a lakeside final, won that World Cup singles event in the WDF. And he did, of course,
game shot,
win in Vegas 2 years ago, the North American Championship. Got him to Ali Pali. Reached the final again last year, but was agonisingly denied. Missed bullseye for a 170 in the last leg decider. Distracted by an idiot in the commentary box from getting very excited. That was me.
140.
Sorry, Jeff.
$57.
Well, Brendan has stolen the darts already in this leg. A rare couple of visits from Smith, where he has not found some big trebles. Some players have talked about Brendan being a difficult player to play because of the pace and everything. I wouldn't think that matters at all to Jeff Smith, who hits only his 6th 180 of the day, but completely turns this leg back around. I mean, the number of players from North America who take an age to throw their darts. Brendan probably seems quite sprightly compared to some of the guys that Jeff Smith goes up against on a regular basis.
$60.
Just the 60. 2 points between them. 142. Brendan, I think, will go 60 bull double 16. He won't get the 60. We'll go treble 16. He's blocked his path to the treble 20, so you would think the 16s, but maybe not. Well, treble 9 is an option, it's just not a very good one. $144 won't go for Jeff Smith, and Brendan Dolan's going to get 2 darts to break the Canadian's throw. He desperately needs this. He needs to start taking his chances. Stranded on tops in the second leg. Missed a dart in the opening leg. It could have been different.
Game shot.
He's averaging 98 still, Dolan. It's not that he's playing poorly, it's just that he's been out-muscled by the Canadian in the opening 6 legs of this contest.
$60.
Gary Anderson is a leg away. The Flying Scotsman 6-3 up on Adrian Lewis.
97.
After missing the vast majority of the first 6 months of last year, Gary Anderson, with his back injuries, threw real doubt on how much of a force the Flying Scotsman would be
60.
in the sport of darts in future. Well, he could be powering through to the final of the first Pro Tour event of 2020.
100. $100. $92.
Well, I was just about to say there haven't been very many loose starts from Jeff Smith, but that's one.
$83.
An unfortunate deflection from that last dart of Brendan's. And Smith is going to leave himself
100.
on a 1 treble finish for a 5-2 lead. Gary Anderson has just completed a 7-3 victory with another ton plus average. The Flying Scotsman, 102 average.
60.
And it is the 2-time world champion Gary Anderson, not the 2-time world champion Adrian Lewis, who awaits the winner of this one. Jeff Smith looking 419s for double 18. He does like leaving that 36. He's a big user of double 18. Certainly used it to qualify for the PDC again by hitting the winning double against Sego Asada in Wigan. Brendan Dolan cannot take the 138.
100.
And Jeff Smith, well, he's had his throw broken twice, Jeff Smith. But in both cases, he's broken straight back, or he will have done if he takes out this double 10.
Game shot.
And that's exactly what's happened. Brendan Dolan cannot consolidate the breaks of throw by holding his own throw. Had he done so, this would be very, very different. But 5-2.
97.
And Smith is threatening to produce his best performance of the day. In terms of the averages, he's pretty much level with what he produced against Nathan Aspinall. Around that 101 mark. And he just looks so calm and collected about it, doesn't he? I mean, he's got vast experience as a former world finalist and major winner in the WDF system. He has complete faith in his abilities. He knows what he can do on a dartboard, but
100.
to be able to turn up on your very first day after winning your tour card, and it's a big gap between last time he won his tour card. He didn't make use of it either.
59.
You know, this is a field with Van Gerwen, Wright, Anderson, Lewis, Chisnell, Aspinall. You know, Chisnell, Aspinall, Wright, they've all fallen at the hands of Jeff Smith
134.
and his superb displays today. Brendan Dolan might be about to become another name to add to that list. Beautiful.
100.
Absolutely beautiful. For the third time in this match, Jeff Smith piles in a 170 plus 3 big treble combination. And Brendan needs to take the 167, which he cannot do. It has just been too much so far in this match. Brendan Dolan been put under too much pressure. Double 7.
Game shot.
It's there. And he is 1 leg away. Jeff Smith Chisnell couldn't stop him. Aspinall couldn't stop him. Peter Wright couldn't stop him.
96.
And Michael Van Gerwen's conqueror, a man who has won 2 of these titles in the last half a year, Brendan Dolan, does not look like he can stop him either. Is the silencer
130.
on a collision course with a Flying Scotsman, Gary Anderson, in the final of Players' Championship 1?
$100. $100.
Well, there's the 5, Brendan. And I think
45.
the history maker knows the deal is up. Because Jeff Smith, he's just been too strong. And he's got stronger.
140.
And he leaves himself 130. And Dolan needs a ton just to at least to get to a finish. Should do from there.
100.
So, Smith should be looking at the bullseye or double 5 at the end of this. Oh, no. Well, the match dart will not come in this visit.
115.
And he leaves himself an awkward-looking 15 for the match, unless Brendan Dolan can prolong it with this. And that's not going to happen. Jeff Smith.
60.
A big fat 3 or a big fat 7? What's it to be, Jeff? Double 4.
7.
Is there a twist in the tail? Can Brendan Dolan win 5 legs on the spin? Could go tops.
80.
Double 4 for the silencer. Right on the wire again. And this time he finds it. And Jeff Smith from Canada finds his way through to a Pro Tour final at his very first attempt, having come through Q School. An astonishing run. Chisnell, Aspinall, Peter Wright, Dirk van Dijvenbode, Reece Robinson, and now Brendan Dolan could not stop the silencer. Jeff Smith, a former World Cup champion in the WDF, takes on a 2-time PDC World Champion Gary Anderson for £10,000 in the opening Players' Championship event.